Hello everybody, today we had the incredible honor to speak with Master Matsuse from the Suishoen garden. Thanks to his apprentice Jorge Sendra, we've been able to communicate and speak about the difference in between Japan and the Western world, when it comes to bonsai of course, how difficult it was to become a master and to have apprentices from all over the world coming to your garden, and more. So, if you want to listen an unfiltered conversation with a master from Japan, here it is. Enjoy it. Thank you very much for being part of this. We're incredibly honored to be able to be on a call with you guys. It has been incredible to have you in the BonsaiGers X event, and I'm really curious to hear what you have to say today.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah.
Okay, but so being part of the competition this year puts you in front of trees from artists from all over the West, so US, Europe. My first question is about the differences between that you found between the bonsai art that you've been growing up the traditional way in Japan, and what you've been finding in this competition.
その一番最初のそのやつやな。だからmy親方 time is so very so branch is so not a lot, so more not perfect style, but so now so USA trees so long time is so very a lot branch, and so but 日本語でも大丈夫です。ああ、そう、日本語でいい。はい、まあもうちょっと枝がやっぱり昔は少なかったけど、でもだんだん枝がもうすごくいっぱいできてきて、でかなり完成度は高くなってきてはいます。完成度は高くなってきてるけれども、でも枝と枝との間、間とかそういったものっていうのがまだやっぱりその表現っていうふうなところまではちょっといっていないのかなというふうな感じですけどね。He's speaking about his time as an apprentice, the time of his oyakata. Some of the trees in the western side were starting to be a bonsai, were more empty, maybe just with structured branches. Now he can see those trees again, but 20 years after, very well developed with more space between branches, more full. So he's been seeing this evolution of trees he knew through time, how they evolve.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I understand. Do you think other than the development of the trees, that of course in Japan you had a big history with bonsai, do you think that other than the development of the trees, there is some style choices that maybe are peculiar of the West compared to what you see like usually in Japan?
それヨーロッパ USA のスタイルと日本のスタイル、まあどうと思います。日本のスタイルがありますか？自然のスタイルがまあそのオールドそうか昔の日本っていうのはそのやっぱり自然を手本にしてた。でも、今の日本の盆栽っていうのはどちらかというとその一般的に分かりやすい盆栽っていう風なものがメインになってきて、で一般的に分かりやすい盆栽っていうのは枝数も多くて、でやっぱりその幹の太さに対して、枝数をしっかり作りましょうっていう風なことになってるんだけど、でも一部の、中国とかそういったところの、人たちからは、これのどこが自然なんですかっていう風なことが言われてる。He says that
Of course, there may be differences between Japanese or Chinese or American style, but the most important thing is in his point of view, the natural style of the tree, how the tree naturally would be seen in his natural environment. He doesn't see bonsai as Japanese style versus European style in a way. There's a natural style or a not natural style or a bonsai.
Yeah. So it's I'm really pleased to hear this. I think it's something that in the West has been talked to a lot about. Try to make trees as natural as possible. While what I've been seeing here in Italy and also in Europe from the last years, it feels like it's really much of a copy of like what we saw on the books in the last that has been arriving from Japan. That many times is not so, it's not so naturalistic. It's more, really enhanced version of what a tree looks in the Japanese canonics. So
四川のスタイルが好きですけど、今スペインとイタリアと、まあよく国風スタイルのスタイルがまあフピットスタイル。
だから説明のやつをちょっと読んであげてくれる？
いかに日本語でと英語で。
ミーがライトしたやつをちょっと
でも日本語で。
でも日本語で。でもそのやつをちょっとイングリッシュでちょっと伝えてあげて。まあ日本語の場合だったらそうやね。その盆栽の世界で国風盆栽展っていうのはもうすごく完成された木なんですね。で完成された木なんだけど過去って言って昔の姿っていうものっていうのは枝数は少ない。で枝数は少ないっていうのは古い老木の姿を表現してるからなんです。で古い老木の姿を表現してるからっていうことだから自然淘汰でツリーがデッド、枯れていってで、その間に空間が生まれてでこうバックブランチがキャンシーになってそれで、その奥行きって言ってこうビハインドが見えるっていうふうな感じの姿だったんだね。でそれが40年50年後60年後っていうふうな時間が過ぎてで枝がとにかく枝数をどんどんこう増やしていったというよりは普通に維持管理をしていくと通常こう枝っていうのはどんどん枝数が増えていく。で枝数が増えていって通常の針金をかけていくと枝はどんどん増えていってその間にある空間とかそういったものっていうのが全部見えなくなる。で見えなくなるから結局今あるその国風盆栽展の姿っていうのはそのほぼ枝数が多すぎるためにその中にある幹とかその枝の古さとかそういったものが見えなくなってしまっているっていうそういう状態です
ね。Speaking about there are two main that's a thing that it's spoken usually in Japan as well. The natural style and we call it the kukufu style or the style you said it's been replicated in Spain or in Italy. These very full canopies, very powerful trees, and he says that that there's this type of trees whose design is originally inspired by nature, and in the process of being taken care of, they evolve into they fall into this commercial or this kufu style box. But there are other cases that those trees into the kokufu style shape, they are brought back in the natural style. So I think what he's trying to express is that there's no closed boxes. There are no such thing as styles. One tree now may have a concrete or a certain shape, but 30 years, 40 years, 50 years after, the tree will evolve. Maybe this branch will be naturally dead because it doesn't get any sunlight, and the tree is always going to be evolving.
Okay, I understand. It's being such a long time practice that it takes so long to move from one side to the other, and there's many artists in between that are working on the trees. Other, of course, the natural response of the tree. You have the artist that is putting their hands on, and this is what makes the differences, right? Okay. I see. It's really refreshing to hear, because it feels sometimes also the people that has been talking on this podcast, if we want to call it like that, feels like he's taking sides. It feels like there's a pride in saying that a person does more such thing or another thing. So me hearing from the source, from Japan, that this is just the natural process of a tree is really refreshing. Put some calm on the topic. It feels.
前の人々はそれ私はナチュラルスタイルコスミックスタイルを私はこれしますとそれダメですと日本のスタイルダメとか彼はもうちょっとリラックスの盆栽
もう一番大切なのはその人にフォーカスするんじゃなくて自然にフォーカスすることなんですね。
The main focus is not your point of view. The main goal is trying to achieve a natural style. What this tree in nature would look like. Not so much my style on this tree. This tree is going to look the way I want. No, how this tree would look like if it was in nature.
Okay.
He thinks that's the key point.
Okay. I see. Okay. Thank you for the clearance, for the clarification. Do you think there's any steps that the Westerners should take that they're not maybe taking now, or some are not taking now, generally, that could elevate this transition to make better trees, more naturalistic trees as well?
これもし正常の盆栽実者に一つだけ業務をいただけるとしたら何にしますか？
何？正常のちょっと
外国人盆栽愛好家さんがこの自然スタイルの知ったら先生がどうしますか？
それライトしたクエスチョンのやつか。ちょっとミーの携帯どこ行ったんだ？ちょっとウェイト。
Nah, no problem. It's
multi-language interviews.
Yeah, I'm really happy that we did it. I think that this way of talking gives a little bit more calm to the conversation. So don't rush. It's a question that comes from the questions that we've been already thinking about. I guess that the time is gonna be the thing that is gonna allow us to get better trees, the same that we get in Japan. But if there's something that from there you seem like it could help, you know.
盆栽はベリーロングタイムニードのホビーなんで、だからnot finish で完成っていうのがパーフェクトがない、でパーフェクトがないからだからネバーエンドレスラーニング、そこがmost I think most important.
Bonsai is he's saying that bonsai is a practice that's a long time practice. It takes 50 years, 100 years, 200 years. You have trees in the garden 1,000 years old. So you are in a way meaningless in this tree's evolution. No? So there's no such thing as this is finished or now this is perfect. So the tree is always evolving, and now it has this shape. But in 5 years, it's going to have another shape, and it's a continuous process of learning in this way.
Okay.
But human life is so limit がある。でも盆栽のこの盆栽っていうのは human life より more long time continue because every day learning for nature からねこうgetting learn っていうかね。
Yeah, the thing is we are practicing an art that our life is limited. Like we have 80 years or 60 years or 70 years, 50, I don't know. No, I have maybe 40 years ahead. I don't know. But the tree doesn't have this kind of limits. They function in another fashion. So the most important thing is to know that even when you are not here, the tree is going to continue its journey. So learning that humble learning, like you are, the most important thing is the nature's evolution, and you are part of that evolution.
Okay. Yeah, it's I think that's probably the thing that we can learn the most here in I don't know as much as I would like to Japan, about Japan, and the Eastern culture from us seems much more calm, more composed, more in a way like it feels like you're more wise in a way, and I think it's also because of all of these practices and the way that you traditionally work. I think that bonsai could help us a lot in this manner, because it takes the focus out of us and puts it on the tree itself, so that we are learning from the tree. We're taking care of something that is gonna outlive us, instead of like just being centered on the artist. The artist does this, the artist does that, and it has this value. It's more the tree that is increasing in value, and mature, get character.
No. キーガーと愛子さんが
Yeah.
Okay. we can we can move forward, but you know, it's a fest. Sometimes we're a little bit caught up with ourselves, and I think that getting closer to nature can help with that. That's what I wanted to say. It's we see a lot of problematics coming up, and you know, it's sometimes I think that we should just step back and realize that we are a small part in the universe, and we're just a part of nature as well. But I'm really curious about your upbringing. What brought you there? What is your journey to become a master? I can imagine that you've been going through a lot of learning, a lot of time spent with the trees. I was wondering if you could give us a little bit of a picture of what it was, how it was the journey to get where you're at now.
それは5番、5番ね。OK。そう。ああ。いや、なんていうんだろうね。まあ、ジャパンだと、ジャパンのプロフェッショナルは、スタートタイムっていうのは、very need study is so 商業的デザインっていう商業的デザインっていうのはちょっとこうライカブランチアロットでもうブランチももうフルでライカこう cannot see inside、not look like so old tree but very こうフルエナジー tree っていうのがこうライカ
先生の人いる。
ああ、そういうことか。5番じゃない、4番に。それは。4番のことか。4番の場合だったら。いや、これ、ミーが整したやつを全部これやってくれた方がいいんだけどね。言ってくれって言った方が。それでないと全部意味が通じなくなってしまう。俺が書いたやつをこうそのままこう言ってくれた方がいいんだけど。
でも日本語の先生のボイスが。
ああ、そういうことか。
So we have the translation here, and he's saying like, say yourself like. もう事前にメイクしてたんだけどね。なんて言うんだろうね。ミーはね、私は盆栽の、高校で園芸科って言って農業高校っていうところに行ってました。で、その農業高校に行ってて、で、まあその同じ同級生とセームエイジのパーソンっていうのがスチューデントがみんなこうそのホーティカルチャースクールだからホーティカルチャースクールアフターそのフィニッシュアフターはそのライスファーマーとかそれからフラワーアレンジメントのそのティーチャーとかそれからそういうなんていうんだろうガーデンデザイナーとか、それからフラワーのメイキングフラワーのそういうファーマー、そういうふうなパーソンがもうベリーアロットだった。でベリーアロットだったんだけどそのユージュアリまあフェイマスワークそれはね。でもフューチャーにNobody do work I want to do だったの。でだからその盆栽は my grandfather ホビーだったから because nobody do because I want to study 盆栽と思って、そのミーは、その舞親方三谷康夫っていうのは大樹園のファースト、弟子なんです。でそこに、スタディに行った。でスタディに行ったけどミーのそのハイスクールの時っていうのはちょっとこうそのティンキングすごく
ティンキングしてた。それは合理的ってわかる？
合理的。合理的。
Yes.
合理的。
合理的。合
合
理的に考えてたけども、でもその盆栽の弟子っていうのは全然合理的じゃない。でだからその合理的な方と全く合理的じゃない方とそのいろいろこうその盆栽の手中で学んでた。
He's been saying he went to a horticulture high school in Japan, and while all his classmates were focused on production rice field jobs or the garden design or Niwaki in a way kind of works. He always thought about another way of working with nature that would make his work stand out, like a different path than everybody was choosing. So he chose. He started to think about doing bonsai. In his case, his grandfather was a hobbyist, a bonsai hobbyist, and through that image, he started to think that maybe bonsai could become a way of living. That was in high school. Like he started with Soyakata was Mitsuya-san, the first apprentice in the Daijuen garden. He went to his place when he was 18, and he's been very polite. I will just translate in that way. While his thought process has always been or was very, very rational, the way he learned bonsai was not so rational.
Okay.
So with this contrast, he learned a lot about life.
Okay. That's awesome. That's really nice too. Like, for how long have you been doing bonsai then?
He is 何年前？
何年前？約30年ぐらい前ですね。
Almost 30 years ago.
Okay.
He's now 50. He started with 18.
Okay.
32 years ago.
Okay. And the Suishoen garden, when has been started?
23だから27.
He finished with 23 with Mitsuya Yakata, and he opened Suishoen at the age of 23. So almost 27 years.
Okay. That's really good work. It's incredible to be able to just be in the craft for so long, in the art form for so long, so that you can really see the trees thrive and develop. Going back to the patience part, how do you acquire trees in Japan? Is it I guess that there's a lot of material that comes to existence much before, so like really old material that comes to you, and then but there's also some starting from humble material trees. There maybe are coming from nurseries or they're fresh Yamadoris.
それは今までお客さん、いろんなお世話になったお客さんがいるんですけど、大体そのお客さんが約そうですね250人とこのぐらいはいたと思います。でもその皆さんはもうほとんど年寄りで亡くなっていったんですけど、 でそのお客さんたちが持ってた盆栽っていうのは大体まあその30本から50本、時には200本以上持ってた人もいるんですけど、その人たちの木の中で、一番良いものの中から1番、2番、3番ぐらいの木ですね。その木をそのお客さんが亡くなられるごとにその木を、購入させていただいて、で、それをまた自分のお客さんに持ってもらって、でまた作らせてもらってっていう風な感じでコミュニケーションをやっています。
Of course, there's material as you were saying. You can always buy trees or raw material like yamadori, but he was talking about usually. でもそれ三つ親方の時代の
違うこっちからこっちでね。盆栽水晶園スタートしてから
スタートの時、he was speaking about the start of Suishoen. Of course, he started with humble material, but as he was progressing in the practice, customers were the ones bringing the trees in, and of those trees, maybe 2, 3, 4, they stay in the garden, and new trees come, and new trees flow inside the garden. The main pieces in Suishoen are, or in almost all gardens, are pieces that customers bring in the garden for the professionals to work on them.
Okay, so the trees are just in care at the garden. They're not owned by the garden, but there's a continuous flow of different trees at all times.
Every time I care.
木が先生の木がじゃない。
のお客さんの木だけど、お客さんがだいたいその50本ぐらい持ってるでしょ。50本ぐらい持ってる木の中の1、2、3、トップ1、2、3をこうエブリタイムもそのパーソンがデッドアフターミーがこう全部こうキープしてる。
Among these customers, the customers are the one buying a lot of trees. Maybe they have 50 trees in their garden, but they bring the best ones, maybe 2, 3 here. And maybe when they pass away, they are kept in the garden. The professionals are the ones carrying out or keeping that tree alive, even when the customer passes away.
Because high quality all materials.
That's the highest quality material. Usually works this way. Of course, you can always buy trees and you can always get yamadoris, but the hidden part of having a bonsai garden is the customer communication, the customer professional communication, where important pieces are.
Okay. So just to clarify, like completely. So the ownership of the tree once a family member dies, and like the ownership passes to the garden, or stays with the family, and the garden is keeping it at an eye level.
Yeah. So families cannot continue. So because person customer dead after. So his family continues next generation ということで、ミーがこうバイして、それをネクストカスタマーにこうつなぐっていうことね。
Usually when the hobbyist passes away, the family is not usually able to keep up with all the work needed to take care of the tree. So on those moments, the professionals take care of that tree, but they don't just keep the tree. They pass that tree along the next generation of owners, and that's the way trees keep moving in Japan. Important pieces keep moving in Japan.
Okay.
So that connects with what we were talking before about style, about my personal view as an artist. There's no such thing because the trees are always moving. So
Okay.
the tree's shape is going to be your liking in this peculiar moment. But the next customer may have another view, and the next customer another one, and the next customer another one. So that's the high level customer thinking in Japan. It's this kind of thinking. I enjoyed doing bonsai during my lifetime, and now it's time to let other people continue my legacy in a way.
Okay. Okay, that's yeah. I was just trying to understand how the ownership of a tree is moving to in this situation. So like the hobbyist is with a family that can take care of the tree once it's passed. So it goes to the artist, the owner of a garden, a professional that develops the trees and then sells it, moves it to another family, or like he keeps it in the collection if it's something that it's valuable in an artistic style, in an artistic manner.
わかりません。それ、ヨーロッパの一番古いの盆栽の文化、まあ、50年から日本の一番古いのわからない1000年のわからない500年ぐらいの。
まあでもセブンジェネレーショントリー、その7人ぐらい交代してる木っていうのがうちでは結構通常にあるよね。だからそのやっぱりそのいい木でないと次の人が持ってもらえない。でだからやっぱりそのお客さんの中でお客さんが例えば100本木を持ってる中で1番2番3番の木っていうのはやっぱり次の人持ってもらえるんですよ。でもあとの残りの97本っていうのは大体まあ盆栽のオークションとかそういったところに限られるよね。でその中でまあ運よくその若い方とかそういうふうな方持ってもらえる木もあるけど、でもその中にはその結局枯れていく木もある。でもやっぱりその自分の人生の中のそのお客さんをずっと今まで見ていると、そのお客さんのその人生の中で一番よくできたもの、1、2、3番のこの木っていうのは次の人が持つ。でそこで枯れる木もある。でも枯れる木もあるけど、そこで良くなってさらに今度次の50年後に次の人が持つっていうふうな感じのこういう継承の仕方ですね。
I was telling him that we don't really have this kind of thinking in Europe because we don't have the enough experience to have experience this. I mean, the oldest bonsai culture in Europe, how old can it be? 50 years, 70 years. Here in Japan, we are talking not 1,000 years, but the imperial bonsai collection has a white pine that it's been known to have been a bonsai for over 400 years. So he says that these important pieces, usually in a hobbyist collection, important customer collection, the first three, the best 3 trees, usually are the ones that are more carefully taken care of once that person passes away. And that's the way these old pieces can survive the test of time. You know? The other ones, they are moved through other customers, maybe auctions, maybe some of them are dead along the way. That also happens, but this kind of constant continuous movement of trees, it's what makes Japan can lead to have very old tree history in Japan bonsai.
I understand. I understand. It's a really interesting part of it because you know, you're really focusing all the time on like the beauty of the trees in this moment, and maybe the legacy that it has. But these little details about how the trees are moving around for me are new. So I hope that you know, it's interesting for
He
you to
said
talk
that,
about it too.
here in the garden he has trees that it's now the seventh generation of owners that has that tree.
Yeah.
Seven generation of owners with 7 generation of professionals and 7 generation. That's a lot of people involved in
Yeah.
this tree.
Also, it's like the top 3 or 4 trees that were in a collection and they've been moving forward to another generation. So I mean, 7 generation of best trees. You know, it's just sifting the good ones. It's really interesting insight on the journey of a tree.
Yes. だから本当に盆栽のプロフェッショナルっていうのはこう結婚するときにそのハズバンドとワイフをこうコミュニケートするのとセームなんだよね。
He said that being a bonsai professional, it's like being married with the trees. So
I was
one
talking.
time,
Yeah. Yeah.
この木だったらこの人だったらこの木を幸せにしてくれるだろうかっていうことも考えないといけない。それでないと枯らしてしまったりとか。
well, yeah. He was talking about the relationship between the trees and the owners and the professionals in the middle. So.
Yeah. Okay. That's awesome. But I'm seeing this beautiful tree in the background. I guess that if you chose it to put it in exposition, it must be something special. Do you want to tell me a little bit about it?
この木の。
一人は
この木はマイファーザーのフレンドの岡山の、そのプロフェッショナルが。
He was a tree of a professional from Okayama that was friend with his father.
Okay.
でこの、木は、その岡山の、プロフェッショナルが、ワンライフで、持っていた木の中で、心拍の文人スタイルではその人のそのプロフェッショナルの岡山のその宮尾さんっていうプロフェッショナルだけど、その人が、扱ったいうのか、まあそのお客さんにこうセールした木の中でモーストグッドワンだったね。
Miyao-san.
宮尾さんっていう人ね。
The professional's name was Miyao-san, a professional in Okayama, and he liked very much the bunjin style trees, and among all his trees, this one's maybe the best one in the garden.
Great.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you something about the moving of trees in between artists, in between families and professionals. How does it work? When you're trying to develop a tree that has been developed refine a tree or develop a tree that has been worked on for so many years before, what is your thought process? Is like when you're getting a tree that has been maybe worked by an artist before, how do you decide how to move forward? There's some kind of path that you follow all the time, or change by tree by tree?
For example, so before has tree owner is so he's already dead. So but he's so keep very strange branch, but So I think why this branch is so very favorite. I think so every time. So but that tree is already dead person. But so if cut is so not angry, but that person but I respect before so make person because so little bit I think little bit strange, but if but this branch cut is so stories stop. I think because so most important is so continue is so his story. Because so very some so very strange branches I cut, but little bit strange is so but he favorite maybe this branches, so I just keep is so next so keep next generation. So I talking about is so next customer I talk to so this before person is so I don't know why this long branch is so he keep, but so one day is so this branch is I'm very favorite branch so but I don't know, but he is so favorite because so this branch is so very long time, so 40 years or 50 years so keep. So I think this story's respect is so これもインポータントだと思うね。this
ナトラルのもの。
もちろんその盆栽の
So a part of the basic is always the natural style, how the tree moves, which branch would be naturally dead, and of course that's the basic work. That's the same for all trees. But with these important pieces, they carry a lot of serendipity with them. They carry a lot of nuances, a lot of histories. Like maybe this branch is very long, but it's a very old branch, and he says that it's important not to impose your point of view, like take a tree and restyle everything, and now it's my tree. Instead, he tries to think, if this branch has been here for so long, why? What was the thinking of the previous owner? What was he thinking? And can I understand that thinking? If I understand that thinking it's okay or it's strange. If it's strange, may I like it in the future because by now I cannot understand this. So there's a lot of levels to the game. It's not only another tree and we start to cut everything and we wire and there's a new tree. No, it's the older the tree, the deeper the thinking. So
それはミーがその before already dead person とそのミーとしてこうトークしてでそれのメモリーがあるからキープしてる。でもそのヒューマンとヒューマンのそのコミュニケートが nothing だったらそのthis is very strange branch でフィニッシュだと思う。でもそこにそのヒューマンとヒューマンがリアルでコミュニケートしてでこのパーソンがThis is my very favorite this branch って言ったそのメモリーっていうのをネクストジェネレーションがストーリーとしてコンティニューするっていうのもこれも
He said at the beginning he said that in for example in the case of owner that passed away, he's not here and he's not going to get angry in a way if I cut or if I don't cut. But he tries to think, what would I be talking about if he was here? Like if he was sitting with me in the workshop, what would he think about this? No, so Mm, and that's the way all trees carry out or continue or have inside of them a lot of stories. These little things that make this tree different from all the others. No, not just cutting everything. He said even if you could do that, his way of thinking is trying to understand, not only respect, but to understand. And once you understand, you take a decision to cut or not cut, or keep or not keep. Important this kind of secret stories.
Yeah, to respect the story of the tree and the story of the tree with the artist that has been working through. Of course. It's once again we need to learn a lot from nature and the people that has been before us. There's always a reason for the stuff that has been decisions that has been taken. Really, it's especially when working with such a big, like lasting art piece. Really interesting.
He was saying that the important part of doing bonsai is the human to human connection. The tree, it's a consequence of that connection. The tree alone or the person alone, they don't make a lot of sense. But the connection of the three of them, people and tree and the practitioner, that's where the magic happens.
Okay. Really great insight. I think it's ourselves. We have been taking a collection from a person that has been passing away this September, and we met him once before, and he was so excited about the trees. It was the only thing that he was doing. He was in his late stage of life. And so this is some. We've been styling the trees this December again. It was really special the way that it was working, and the trees have been taking all of these character that it's unusual, and importing it into the design. It adds so much history and character.
Yeah.
So it's a really it's beautiful, the relationship that it creates, the two human beings and the tree in the middle. I agree. This was one of the most difficult things that I've been encountering in the journey, but
そうですね、考えるかもしれないね。でもそのものすごく変な絵だな。そのベリーストレンジブランチがフューチャーにthis is very good branch なったらいいよね。
There's a lot of branches or features in the tree that may look a little bit strange now, but through time, 50 years, 100 years, 200 years, they naturalize and they become a very special thing. So that's to take into account.
Really important.
Yeah.
I was saying this was in my journey. This was one of the most difficult things that I encountered, because it makes you gets out of yourself and your thoughts, and you're trying to relate to something else. But I'm wondering, for an artist of your of your experience, of such experience that you had, what was the most difficult part of the journey for you?
勉強の時の一番難しいの
ことは何でしたかっていう盆栽の難しいっていうよりは、本当に盆栽っていうのは人と同じなんです。例えば盆栽を育てることっていうのは本当に人を育てるのとほぼ一緒なんですね。でそれはどういうことかっていうと、うちの親方のところに黒松の、うちの親方のお父さんがいて、そのお父さんっていうのはmy 親方so has my oyakata is so bonsai professional, but his father is so professional too. So his is so black pine seed professional. So his seed start black pine has so 1 million so seed start black pine. So 10 years after, so he choice is so good tree is so 1,000 keep. More 10 years after, so 500 keep. So more 5 years after is so 100 keep. My so oyakata is so his son. Son is so choice is so 25 trees. So first time is so 1 million, but so choice after is so final keep is so 25. So 25 trees, so I start so learning is so time every time mekiri or so haskashi for needle, and so I work together is so my senior student too. So wiring and so every time so I practice like that. So that 25 trees, so most good trees, so very good. But so most bad trees, so very strange tree. My student time is so feel so. So every time is so I learning is so 5 years, just 5 years. So most good bonsai is so wiring after so mekiri and so a lot so branches so make after is so very change is very gracefully. So but very most no good trees so not changes so trunk is so branches a lot but so not good shape. So my study finished after 5 years after I start so bonsai Suishoen 23. So I start bonsai Suishoen after so 7 years or 8 years after is so I go to so Oyakata house. So but so that time is so I think very surprised. So most good trees, so too much fat is so change very strangely. But most bad trees, so very very too strange movement is so like a part after is so very good shape change. Because so she's start trees so maybe so 30 years or 50 years so bonsai trees so still young tree. So still young tree so how changes so nobody understand. So first time is this is very good shape because so this is so future very good tree. First time thing, but so 10 years after, so 20 years after is so nobody don't know this tree, so how to change it, so nobody understand. So because so most can study is so bonsai is so 生き物っていうこうライフがあるよね。だから not マテリアルっていうとマテリアルだけど、そのこうずっとエブリタイムムーブメント。でこれはそのエブリタイムムーブメントリー because そのその時っていうのはnow good but future is わからない。cannot understand. But this is very bad. But future is わからない。それは
わからないが一番。
それがやっぱり一番その勉強だったね。
He was saying that in case of his Oyakata's Mitsuyo Oyakata's father, he was a bonsai professional as well, and he grew tons of seed black pines. So he had, I don't know, 1,000,000, 10,000, or I don't know, a lot of them. His father. Then, when Mitsuyo Oyakata started his garden, he took over maybe, I don't know, half of them. You know? And among of them, the very best ones, he continued to work. Okay. And when it was Sensei's turn to work on those trees, he worked on the very best of those starter trees. No? And at that time, when he was studying, after Mikiri and after taking needles and after wiring and very best of them, he thought, this tree looks very nice, or it's a very good tree. But on the other side, there were some other trees that were not touched. And this tree looks like, I don't know, looks a little bit a strange tree, or I don't like this tree. But he was very surprised a lot of years after, when he came back to Mitsuyo Oyakata's garden, when he saw those trees that back in the day he thought they were the best trees. He was very surprised when he saw that those, maybe some of them were now too fat, or the shape was, it has evolved in something not very beautiful. But in the other way, the trees that were not touched back in the day, the trash trees in a way, they were very, very interesting. They had very interesting features or movements or shapes. No, so he says that trees' life and people's life are in a way the same. So the most difficult thing to learn is to know that the tree is going to keep evolving through time, and having that ability to imagine how the tree would look like in 50 years, in 100 years, in 200 years. He thinks it's maybe the most difficult thing. Being able to imagine how the tree is going to look now, after I wire the tree, that's the easy part. The most difficult part is after I wire this tree, and after I'm dead, and after the next owner is dead, how is this tree going to look like? That's 200 years view. That's the most difficult thing to acquire.
Okay. But in this particular scenario, when you're talking that the trees that has been left a little bit behind and they developed in an interesting way, and the ones that have been worked on has been almost lowering in quality, is it? Do you think like on this manner of like trying to look for the future is you mean that the difficult part is just to imagine how the tree is gonna look, or the difficult part is to act on the tree in a way that the outcome is gonna be beautiful in the future? It's that.
Japan, bonsai professionals so a lot, and so very good so technique has so hobbyists a lot, but most important thinking is so if that tree is so human だったらしたらその木の個性
ビルね。
違う。個性じゃなくて個性。個性。
personality.
That tree パーソナリティキュンっていうのがモーストバットだと思うね。そのone tree is so material different. So if この前にも言ったそのベリーフィッシュフレッシュフィッシュをギブするパーソンがいて、そんでthank you very much. This fish very good fish. So tonight is so dinner time is how cook is so thinking so this give fish person is so thinking with so this is very good fish and so very fresh so because so give you so if you so cooking time is so what do you think so if Japan is so very so fresh fish is so cut sashimi you know so so like a sushi materials. So but if this person is so thinking is so so boil and after so take chocolate sauce so mixing is so very very strange so cooking if this person is that so if give person is so very sad so this material is so if very so bad cooking because so one material is so all so no has personality personality so because so most important is so long time is so this personality is so more good is how thinking is most important so not so this is so I my tree I buy because so like I do this is cut this branch cut this wiring more the branch down so no he thinking is so that like that thinking person is so a lot but most important is if this tree is so natural environment very long time is so why still alive this so environment so if this tree is so natural environment tree is maybe this for so long branches so maybe movement is like this so this top is maybe like that trunk is so this environment is very very strong wind press because so this tall head is so maybe strange more like this いうこのイメージングが most important I think.
Once again the time span we are talking about it's not our lifelong time span. He's thinking about a longer time span. So what you're liking or what your style or how what do you think in this moment the tree should look like? Maybe it's not as important as thinking what's the personality of the tree, what's the essence of this tree, how is this tree, how this tree wants to look like in a way. How is this tree moving, how this tree in what environment would this tree be growing. If it was in that environment, maybe this branch was may still be alive or it may have been dead for so. The most important thinking is this long time, but longer than our lifespan. Very very long time thinking. That in process you necessarily fall into the natural kind of style thinking. So
because so my so my first time so coming my nursery person is so ちょっと勘違いしてる。勘違いってなんていうの？勘違い。
Mistaken.
Mistaking. So thinking mistaking. So this is I like style is kengai because this material I want to change kengai っていうのは、それは私は not good thinking だと思う。その if that material is その県外が very good だったら no problem だけど、でもこの木はそうではなくて、その木の個性っていうのはパーソナルをその most important に考えて、この木が how to すると most beautiful, most natural, most beautiful なスタイルになるかっていうのを thinking して、それからその自然をリスペクトしてワークするっていうのが一番大切だし難しい。
He thinks the most difficult thing is respecting how nature would act on this tree, doing the work necessary to respect that nature's action. He understands like mistaken thought process, the way of thinking, like as because I like Kengai or because I like Chokan or because I like this kind of style, I'm going to make this tree look like fall into this category. No, I have this tree, but I like Kengai. Now it's going to be Kengai. No, this tree has its own movement, has its own personality. He's talking about personality. It has its own essence. Understanding that movement and working accordingly, he thinks is the most difficult part of doing bonsai.
Yeah, because you cannot put rules on a process that it's really much, natural.
In the workshop, he's always talking about professionals usually. He's always talking about nagare. Nagare is movement, no? Like, where's this tree moving? How is this tree moving? So he understands that first, the most important thing is to understand this tree's essence, and then working on it, but understanding the tree movements and how it look like in nature.
Yeah, it's the key way to create a naturalistic look. Because,
but not. I think the key point that he's trying to make is that there's no such thing as styles. You cannot decide if this tree is going to look in this style or this other style. It's not a painting. You cannot decide this is going to be abstract and this is going to be classic and this is going to be modern art. This tree, it's a thing on its own. You are one person, I'm another person, he's another person. I cannot decide how he's going to be, even if I try. He's going to be what he is, and I'm going to be what I am. The tree is the same. As they don't speak, we have to try to understand what they are. No? So, as I understand, it's not because I think we have this kind of artistic kind of view, like I want to put my style on this tree. I want to sign. I want to stamp this tree with my signature. Because and there's no such thing, or he doesn't understand bonsai in that way.
Yeah, of course. It's still the key. The key practice is try to elevate the tree in its full potential. not the artists. So it's
That's it.
yeah. I understand.
We
I understand.
talked this as well, that the best work or the best bonsai is the one that you don't really know whose work is it. I
Okay.
mean, that you don't know if it was wired or not wired, or how. No? この木が針金かけた、この木はどうし、no?
Mhm.
Those trees that you look at them and you don't really know if they are raw or not, or they must have been worked on, but you don't really know how. This kind of very soft touch on trees,
Okay.
doing very crazy things. It's an ego-based practice, and bonsai has nothing to do with ego, because your ego lasts 40 years, 50 years.
Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
there's no way you can impose like
だから本当にI have daughter, so daughter so want to learning so piano. I want if for example so I want to future is so this daughter is so do that so pianist. I every time so teacher so take to so going so pianist is so practice is every time. So but so one day so daughter is so another so science and study another study so but so most she favorite is so how to every time check is so most important. I think so. So one day so she so outside going and so she on the grass and so every time so very deep thinking very deep watching so and insect そしたらshe is so very like so insect とかいうふうなso she I think maybe most good is so pianist, but so she most wants so very love this so so insect とかいうこのその if so you are parent だったらその tree も same そのI this tree is I very like to so make bunjin because so this tree is so I make bunjin style って言ってそうアロットブランチなんだけどカットしてこのthis is bunjin とか言ってっていうのはこれはもうモーストバットだと思う。
He's saying that in as a lot of things in life, bonsai and people. He talks a lot of times about that we are parents in a way of all these trees, no? And with your own family, even if you want somebody on your family to do something, they are going to do whatever they choose. I mean, you can act on people so much. The rest, it's their own path, their own way. And with bonsai is the same. Even if you like this tree to do this thing or this other thing, or I like bunjin style, or I like moyogi style, there's no such thing as forcing something to fall into this, to do forcing things to do what you want them to do. They are going to do their own thing, and you can only help them or go with them along the way, or help them, or I don't know. But you cannot force anything on anyone.
I completely understand. It's important. It's important with that, as much as with people as with trees. But I'm really enjoying this conversation. I think it's really interesting to see this thought process. It's as I was saying before, talking mostly with artists from the West. I think that you're talking about the ego, and a little bit that the bonsai is detached from it. It's a really interesting thought process that I think that we're trying to achieve, but it's not really something that it's part of us yet, and bonsai is really helping with it. So I'm really, it's a really interesting conversation. Thank you for taking the time for it. I was I'm going through a little bit the question and checking like what I would like to ask you first. Time wise, how are we doing? Is it okay for you?
大丈夫です。
大丈夫。
No problem, no problem.
Okay.
No problem.
I'm really curious also about the apprentice relationship. Many times, I mean, we've been having prominent figures in the West. Have been doing apprenticeship in Japan, and there's different stories about it. I'm wondering, rather than your approach, I'm wondering if there is how important it is for you to have young people from all over the world coming to the garden, and if you are getting some kind of inspiration from these fresh eyes, from this, yeah.
それは例えば6番、
7番。
7番、7番のことは、それは、海外の生徒、日本。そうね。Yeah, I every time so new student coming, I teach in イギリスとかヨーロッパの人とか、それからアメリカの人とか、それからアジアの人とか、だいたい50名ぐらい教えましたけど、その中に本当に何人か3人か4人ぐらいですかね。で、その人はその日本の古いその庭とか、それからこのベリーこう朝もやって言っても朝の、ベリーこう、朝もやのね、中でこの松林って言ってこうパイントリーのこう林があって、その中からこう霞がかっているようなそういうその光とかそういうふうな松の影とかそういったものの中にすごくその深いその精神性というのかエレメントリーをこう感じたというふうな人がいた。でその人はその一つのものすごく古い盆栽の平岡さんのああいうふうな木とかを見ると、なんかまるで本当に神社の中に佇んでる木のようだっていうふうな、そういうフィーリングを感じた。それもユーも感じてたけど、だからそういうそのなんていうんだろう、そのただこう木を作ったっていうんじゃなくて、その木の中はやっぱり生き物だから、その中にいるその神様のようなものが中にいるんじゃないかというふうな、そういうその精神性っていうものを、そういうふうなこう感じ方を捉えるっていうふうな感じのことが、その海外の人でも同じように感じ取ることができるんだというふうなことにすごく感動したと。
He has a lot of this garden in particular. Here are always coming a lot of foreign people, Chinese people or Thai people, or in my case Spanish people, English people. We have there's a lot of people coming. The thing he enjoys or makes him happy, it's not just to see that all these people can work or can wire or can do basic things, but feeling that they deeply understand what or they are touched when they see very old trees or very old temple trees or very old branches moving in very interesting ways. the thing he enjoys the most is watching how these people through bonsai are able to get this deeper understanding of the natural environment. It's not just a very old tree. It's a very old tree, but a very interesting tree, a very interesting branch, and not even the shape, but the energy of the tree. He enjoys seeing how through practicing bonsai people can deeply connect with their environment. He was talking about temples with that he's very moved when someone watches a bonsai picture and suddenly he says, this looks like a tree you can see on a very old temple here in Japan. This kind of connections between miniature trees and the outside world. He enjoys watching this, that this connection can happen.
Do you think that you get any inspiration on the work that you're doing on the current trees because of some ideas or some point of views that maybe an apprentice is bringing up? Like there's this kind of back and forth in an apprentice, or is a more strict relationship of the mindset of the master is taking in account those the ideas of other people?
親方とお弟子さんのリレーションシップはどうですか？親方からお弟子さんにするかを、別の
私の親方はmy親方 is so every time very so hard to teach, so not to teach so very so kindly, so this branch is so 1 2 3, this is so center branch is so like this card, not like this teach. So one time oyakata like this, okay, you do just like this. So I cannot understand, so but I so very scary, so cut after, so oyakata is so very angry, so why you like that? So but still very so not understand, so very so scary time, so every time, so I every time so I ask with so senior student, so senior student is so very kindly, so like that is so so I understand, so do so oyakata is so little bit check and after is so okay, so next is so like that. So this tree is so you wiring, so and cut is so this tree, so but no teach so wiring, so my so senior student too, so no teach wiring, so because so how to do it, so wire, so take and roll, and so so and not understand, so because so very a lot, so ものすごく難しいんだけど、こうティンキングして考えてやらないと、その最初に教えてもらって簡単にやったことっていうのは身につかないっていうのはこう cannot get study。だからベリーこうロングロードをこう回ってからそのアンサーにつくように、その親方はやってたように思いますね。
でも先生のスタイルは全然違う。
ミーは違うね。
First, in his experience, the style of traditional oyakatas, or the way bonsai is traditionally taught, it's not. They don't really explain, and they didn't explain anything to them. It's not the way it works. In his case, Oyakata worked very fast on trees. Wire, you put wire this way, very fast, and they should copy that. Of course, they couldn't copy. Oyakata got very angry, and they were punished. But taking the long road of thinking why Oyakata's work is good and why my work is not good, this very long way made them to very deeply think about how they were doing things, or how they didn't have to do things. So that's the style he was taught under. A very strict way, a very long time thinking process. Not really. They didn't really explain anything to them. Like you should do this way, or you shouldn't do this way. But work, and they watched and they tried to replicate Oyakata's work. They couldn't replicate his work, and it was this kind of.
My time is so very hard. So my apprentice time is so I'm not so like that teach.
Okay.
The way he was taught was very, very strict, but his style is not really. He has sometimes sometimes it appears, but it's not the same.
I see. But so there's in your way of teaching, there is an explanation. What is the process when like it's you're working trees together, you're working the trees, and the apprentice is watching, and he needs to learn from you practicing. How your way of teaching is now?
これは今どのような感じでその何をこう学んでいますかっていうことかな。every day so study. So all my garden is almost old tree, but so some young tree too. But I study every day. Time is so I check every time. So this tree is so weak, or so very some this branch is so very strong now. So because now need cut this timing. So every time のこの通常業務っていうのはなんていうの、通常業務っていうのか、通常のことはやってるけれども、通常業務、通常usually work と、あとそのNatural Dead Branch を、それからKeep Branch っていうのが、その How to それがそのどのようにしてこの木の樹形自体を 構成していくかっていうような感じのことをずっと長いこと見ていますっていうのが分かる。
でも、でも、
ナチュラルデッドが。
でも例えば先生と、愛好家さんが2人で、盆栽をやっていますか？お先生がやって
まあ、オールモストミーだけど。だから、盆栽と自分だけで結局感じていることやね。
Usually the way he tries to teach people that come to learn here, of course, the work is done by himself, but along the process he tries to explain why he's doing such things. He wants the students to understand this natural thinking, why he cut this branch, and it's a longer process, but yes, usually as an apprentice, usually at first he spent a lot of time with me in this case, but in the workshop, not necessarily working on the same tree, but kind of overwatching and always checking why you did that and why you did this and why you did that. It's always he's always asking whether you understand what you are doing or not. No?
それをそのヒューマンライフと、それから盆栽をメイクするこのエブリデイのそのテイクケアっていうのはこうシンクロニティする。それは例えばナチュラルデッドのポイントっていうのは、ここは農産だからここはこのトップがベリーストロングだからナチュラルデッドする。でこれはこのナチュラルデッドだからいいけども、これが例えばインバイオメントがチェンジすれば、じゃあハウトどういうふうにそのスタイルがチェンジするのかっていうふうなところから、そのヒューマンのライフもその例えばベリーこうティンキングアロットになって、もうノーさんなんかもうノーウェイとかっていうふうな感じにこう思っていても、そのアングルっていうのをこうチェンジアングルすると、そうするとウィンもからライトも風も結局ちゃんとこうできるとか、それからそのここのところのそのトップがトゥーヘビーになってるとかで、その2のライフにとってこのベリーヘビーそのトップブランチっていうのはハウっていうのをこういうふうにこう考えるようにすると、この盆栽のこのロングライフとそのヒューマンのこのライフっていうののこのウォーキングがこう本当にこうライカスティメラーのところがある、そういったところを感じながらやってます。
He's thinking, and now maybe he's talking more about long-term apprentices, but his thinking is trying to make the apprentice, he said, synchronize with the garden in a way. Learning to be a bonsai professional is learning to merge with your trees, like walk along with your trees, no? So, and that's very difficult thing to teach. I mean, he can tell me you have to water, but me knowing that I need to water without him telling me, that's the most difficult thing to teach somebody. And the only way you can do that is trying to make them synchronize with in this case the trees in the garden. No? The same thing, the same way as that. The same way we are thinking when we are designing a tree, maybe this branch, we don't need this branch because we have this kind of thought process with the tree. Price, he wants to develop that thinking on the person that's learning, trying to have this.
例えばこの心拍がなんでこうビューティフルに見えるのかというと、この木はその山の中でこのずっとすくすくと育っていたわけではない、ユージュアリーで育ったわけではない。だからものすごくこうツイストしながらいうのは風とかそういったもので何回も枯れるような経験をしている、オールモストデッドな経験をしているね。オールモストデッドな経験をしていて、そこにもうモーストセンターでもう例えばヒューマンだったら B はこの仕事だっていうふうな感じに思っていたことっていうのが、それがワンデイある日突然ブレイクする、風でそれともサンダーかそれとも何なのかわからない。でもそのサブブランチとかそれからアナザーブランチが今度はメインブランチになっていくっていうふうな、そういうふうな時代もあるかもしれない。でもこの木っていうのはその死んでるところのデッドブランチっていうのが結局メインで考えていたところだけど、そのサブのブランチが結局その最終的には来て、それが姿を織りなしているっていうふうなところとか、そういったところにも結局人生の中でじゃあ人間がどういうふうにして生きればいいのかっていうふうなことを盆栽っていうよりは自然から学ぶことっていうのはやっぱり
very difficult. He was taking this tree as an example, and the same way this tree was growing, maybe through rocks, and he found his own path through those rocks. If he's with an apprentice, if the master is always overseeing the work that an apprentice is doing, or it's patronizing in a way the apprentice's work, it's like if this tree grows a very long branch, suddenly a very straight and long branch, that branch is going to be broken. The key thing is to joder, es que supongo que mucho casi no, pero he's trying to inspire a thought process that makes or can make someone that's learning from him being able to work without anyone having to tell him like you have to do this or you have to do that. It's like a sense of responsibility, you know. So for that you need to, as this tree may have found its own way to survive in a very harsh environment, and along the way a lot of scars were put on this tree's trunk. He understands being an apprentice the same way. You have to endure and you have to hang in there. He usually says a lot of things, a lot of times hang in there, no? In order to become, in this case, a very interesting tree, no? Having the same, keeping the same metaphor. So, not easy being an apprentice, but not easy being a oyakata or a sensei in this case. Deep thinking.
そうね。だからちょっとなかなか難しい。
I think that Jorge is doing a great job today. I'm gonna edit the video with and I'm gonna put subtitles also on what Master Matsuse is saying. But for me, it has been priceless to have him on your side. But I am really, once again, I'm really grateful that we had the chance to have this talk. It's for me, it's incredible to be able to hear from firsthand from a master like you to like the thought process that is behind the craft. Since most of the times we get it filtered by somebody from the West that has been coming to Japan. So I mean, for me, it's really a really interesting conversation, and I'm really honored that you decided to take the time for this. To close it up, I would like to ask you if you have anything that you feel like sharing about your journey, about the future of your practice and your garden, and something that it's meaningful to you.
は、どうしたいかを考えます。This time のボンサイガーズのファイナルジャッジ、ファイナルジャッジメント、あれの話をちょっとなぜ私が最後にあれを選んだのかっていうふうな話をしたいと思います。
He wants to speak about the two trees he thought in the BonsaiGers competition that were the best trees, and he wants to talk
Yes.
a little bit about
Yes,
those two.
of course.
まあ、マテリアルが素晴らしいのはやっぱりオリーブだったと思うんですよね。
His two trees of he thought were the best were the olive, the very big olive, and the Yatsubusa elm.
Yeah.
でそのヤツブサにまあ私がなぜ入れたのかっていうふうなことなんですけど、でそれは、まあオリーブの、木の方はちょっとその枝にちょっとそのなんて言うんでしょう、若さを感じたっていうようなところがあります。でその若さっていうのはどういうことかっていうと、このオリーブの木の、左内側の枝表現になるんですけど、その枝表現自体がこうその本当に風の流れを今現在進行形で今ムービングってね、動いているっていう風な感じのところがあったんですね。でそこはそのちょっとその今現在進行形であって、でその本当に古い老木の姿っていうものの姿は例えば、マウンテンの中にこうかき分けて入っていって、である日突然その巨木に出会ったっていうふうな時は、その日はものすごい大嵐の日じゃないはず。ストームノットストームデイだと思うね。それはその本当にもうすごく穏やかなベリーこうパーフェクトデイみたいな日にそのこうやってガタッとかき割ると、そうするとそのものすごくビッグツリーがあって、そこのそのヒューマンのこのこういうふうなサウンドを聞いて、でそのバードもうサムバードがこうパパパパッと飛び立つフライングする。でそういうふうな時にこうそのあるブランチっていうのはその何日か間はもうその1年前5年前30年前にものすごくもうビッグストームとかだからもうベリービッグそのなんていうんだろうね、テンペストがあった、でもそれをスティルアライブしてでずっとこうネバーグローイングしてでそのベリーいいかだけどそれはブランチの表現としてはすごくこうその今すごく風を吹いてますっていうんじゃなくて、すごくこう穏やかな枝表現になるはず。でそれはその、まあボクサーとかそういうふうな人が、そのファイティングタイムの時にもうフェイスがこうものすごくひどい状態のそのフェイスになっているんじゃなくて、それを見るんじゃなくて、 その60歳になったそのボクサーのスーツとかそういうのを着て、できちっと写真の中に収まった時に、もうこうリルビッとこう、ちょっとこうスマイルでやってるそのボクサーは、このディスパーソンはライトディスストーリーがあるっていうふうな感じのことをイメージングすることが、その一番そのモアディープっていうのか深いと思うっていう。
For him, it was very difficult to decide, or the thinking process with these two trees was the most deep for him. The material, of course, in both Yachusa and that very big olive, the material was extraordinary. The only thing that made him fall for the Yachusa was very the nuances of the branching of the olive. While the Yachusa looked like a very magnificent tree, a very big tree, a very magical tree that maybe you could watch when you are in a forest, and he was having this image, walking through a forest and going through some bushes and suddenly seeing this very magnificent tree with little birds in the branches and very in a very calm state. Very calm state, but a tree that has endured a lot of hardship, but now in a very calm state. The olive, in the other hand, looked like it was in the middle of that storm. The branches were affected by that wind. They were still moving. In his thought process, again, as we were talking through all this call, the length of the thinking we are talking about, it's not 100 years, it's thousands of years. So there's no such thing as movement in this very long time span. There's only a calm state after a very hard things have happened. So in his point of view, that olive, the bottom branch was still affected by that wind, even though it was a very big tree, a very magnificent tree, a very well-developed tree. Those nuances are the things that, in his way of understanding bonsai, make trees stand out. The Yachubusa aura or the tension in this in the olive, in the other hand, and for him, he said that the image of an old tree that has endured countless storms and disasters is not one of tension, but rather of calmness, and its branches gently embrace everything they have been through. So it was a very long time, a very long thinking process to decide whether the Yatsubusa or the olive should win the competition.
Okay. So do you think it's a matter of maturity at the end of the day? It's the Yatsubusa elm felt more mature, like if it has been enduring the harsh times and has been coming out as the magnificent tree that it is, rather than the olive tree that is still in the process of changing to this mature state, like taking in account all of those harsh.
成熟というよりは、その例えばそのベリーオールド、ボクサーがいて、そのボクサーがそのもうアロット ファイティングをこうエクスペリエンスして、でそのボクサーがベリーオールドタイムにもうそのボクサーのビジネスはもうフィニッシュして、でそれで20アフターぐらいにもうベリーオールドタイムにちょっとこうテイキングベリーグッドスーツ着て、でこうテイクピクチャーされる。でもそのファイナルライフのもうモーストファイナルのテイクピクチャーでそのオールドマンがこうスマイリングでテイクピクチャーされる時っていうのはこのベリーこうそのファイティングタイムのこうベリースカルフェイスではないと思う。
He's talking about a metaphor with a boxer, for example, no, very professional boxer. Once he retires and once he's an old person, like portrayed in a photo, it's no longer he doesn't have any bruises in his face. He doesn't have any. He just have the traces of what he has been through, not the not any blood or anything, but just those marks. Maybe he may have struggled a lot, but now he's in a happy state, in a calm state after all those hard times. No? Okay. For him, bonsai
盆栽エキビジョンだからやっぱりeverybody こうね、そのエキビジョンだからやっぱりこうルックしてベリーグッドリーって思うんだけど、そのボクサーのベリースカルフェイスじゃないでしょ。やっぱりthis boxer is so very old boxer, but maybe he is so very long time, so a lot of fighting, so experience っていうこのイメージ、そのベリーそのグレートトリーだけどもベリーブランチもベリーこうナチュラルでベリーノットムービンっていうのがベリーこう、すごくナチュラルなんだけど、でも、そのトランクからフィーリング、そのシャリとかそういったのを見たら、ベリーロングタイムビフォアにベリーこうファイヤーとかそういうふうなもうテンペストがあって、maybe this tree is so a lot こう乗り越えてきた、いろいろそういうふうなテンペストとかいろんなものを乗り越えてきたんだろうなという、こういうそのヒューマンが feel maybe this tree is so great っていう、こういうこれがやっぱりその一番やっぱりそのいいんじゃないかと思って。
He understands exhibitions as the viewer needs to actively involve in the act of watching that tree. He doesn't need to be told in the case of the boxer that this boxer had broken nose or brown eye or anything like that. He just looking at his picture, he can start to imagine this all he has been through. So with coming back to the bonsai, you don't. For him, the most interesting trees are the ones that make the people that are watching the tree having to imagine what that tree has been through. Maybe this tree was set on fire. Maybe this tree was, I don't know, in a very hard blizzard. But after all those hard moments, now the tree is in this magnificent, in this great state after the thing he's been through. So.
Okay.
ボクサーがvery great ボクサーが every time say, yeah, I'm very so その very I practice and I training very full too much とか言ってこう too much speak してたら not very cool でしょだから nothing say but great っていう、これがいいね。
You sometimes don't need to mm, mm, the boxer doesn't need to say everything he's been through for people to know what he's been through.
Yeah. I see.
The boxer.
For example, boxer. But so, so エキビジョン、そうだからね。だからnow like this っていうんじゃなくて、やっぱりその very long time にそのこうパッと見たときに、ファーストインプレッションっていうのはやっぱりこの not strong storm day やっぱりこの very こうファインデイの時にこうスモールバードがインサイドからパパパパとこう飛び立つようなそういうイメージングっていうのはそのやっぱりこうそういうものすごく長い時間っていうふうなものを過ごしてきたやっぱりその雄大さっていうふうなものを出さないとダメ。
After we have to in very long time spans there's no such thing as movement or wind blowing very strongly, and there's just traces of what once was. After something very strong happened to this tree, now the tree is in this state and showing itself in its full potential. And not really affected in this moment. We are watching the tree by anything. There's no such thing as tension when you are watching a tree.
Okay.
There was things, but no.
Okay. It's a really beautiful insight on what the judging process was for you. I saw the comments that you've been making, and everything seemed really, really thought through. And I'm really appreciating, and I'm sure that the artists have been appreciating to hear your thought. It's not so common to have a Japanese master touching those topics with an artistry here. So thank you very much. I'm really happy also that you brought it back to light. But once again, I am so honored that you had the time to dedicate to us today and during the competition. And I'm looking forward to maybe one day come to Japan and visit the garden and meet you in person. So if you're coming this way, you're more than welcome.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope to. Yeah.
Yeah, we hope so too.
Hope so.
But thank you so much for
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. So present. So my
thank you for the present.
Yeah.
For present and for this experience too.
And this experience, thank you for the experience. It was very.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was a great pleasure.
Thank you. Arigatou. Thank you very much.
Grazie.
Yeah. Grazie. Yeah. Grazie.
I wish you a great evening. I know that it's a little bit late in Japan now. For working time, I guess.
No problem.
But once again, thank you very much. It has been a pleasure. I keep you posted on this.
So much.
Have a good evening and see you soon.
Yeah. See you soon. ありがとうございました。
ありがとう。
はい、ありがとうございます。